Welcome to the Royal Life Saving Society's video for 1993. Now if you all keep quiet and pay attention, you might just learn something.
You have just been invaded by a Sega Royal Life Saving Society pirate video.
Hi, and today on Sega TV you will learn about water safety and how to build your lifeguard potential with the stars of Baywatch, Chris Evans and Ecco the Dolphin. Take a look at this!
Do you remember when you were at school and you had those weeks where you had to learn about really random things like electrical safety, being safe in the kitchen, road safety, what to do in an emergency, fire safety, and even cycle safety? In the United Kingdom at least, those special lessons are actually tied to the national curriculum, meaning they have to be taught to children in school. The idea is it would help them reduce accidents, and it keeps children safe in situations that they find themselves in, which could be dangerous. And studies have shown that this type of education does in fact work in the long run. So you might be asking yourself, this is all very well, but I was promised a documentary about video games! Well, in 1993, something amazingly unexpected happened. In partnership with the Royal Life Saving Society, Sega teamed up with them and the cast of Baywatch to teach the kids of the UK how to stay safe in and around water. This is the story of the 1993 Sega Rookie Lifeguard campaign. So before I can really talk about this, I'm going to need to provide some kind of backstory, otherwise some of you are going to be completely lost on this one. The Royal Life Saving Society, also known as the RLSS, is an anti-drowning charity based in the UK who provide educational materials about water safety as well as swimming lessons. In 1990, they began to petition the UK government to add water safety and swimming to the national curriculum. This would mean that all children who attended a UK primary school, which is ages 5 to 11 for those of you outside the UK, would get free swimming lessons and education materials designed to reduce the number of accidents per year. So now let's talk about Sega in the early 90s. And you might be thinking, oh, I know all about Sega and Nintendo in the 90s. It was awesome, everything was so cool and awesome. Well, yeah, that's one way to look at it. But both Sega and Nintendo during the early 90s were coming under fire from a lot of health groups. You see, there was two big problems facing console and video game developers during the early 90s. The first was the now laughable debate over do games cause violence, which was at its height back then in the early 90s. But there was another issue as well. There was a rather alarming increase in the number of people having epileptic attacks from some video games, and unlike the violence debate, this one actually had a lot of scientific evidence to back it up, and even to present day, consoles now display a health warning when they start about the risk of epilepsy. But back then in the 90s, this just didn't happen, so Sega and Nintendo were coming under a lot of attack from health groups that were saying, you're being a bit irresponsible here. So aside from being cool, Sega were always looking for ways to improve its public image health-wise. So at some point near to the end of 1992, the RLSS approached Sega London with their idea to use Sega's characters to help promote swimming and water safety. They specifically wanted to incorporate Ecco the Dolphin into this campaign. And Sega loved the idea. They liked the idea so much that they actually got into contact with Sega of America, who also thought the idea was great. So the plan initially was to create a short 20-minute safety video which would educate the children of the United Kingdom about the dangers of water and advice for what to do if you spotted someone in difficulty. So to give the campaign some more appeal, Sega decided to enlist the help of a specialist TV studio who were very popular at the time and had a lot of experience with filming rescues at sea. They got in touch with the Baywatch TV studios. But someone pointed out that it might be lost on UK kids if they set the show entirely on a Los Angeles beach, so it was agreed that they would get a popular UK celebrity at the time to film some scenes which were more relevant and localised to UK audiences. So they hired Chris Evans and got the help of the cast and crew of Sega's pirate TV commercials to help film some special scenes specifically for UK audiences. The video would now be in 2 parts. The cast of Baywatch would teach you what to do if you saw someone in trouble in the water, whilst the UK crew would talk about dangers specific that most UK kids might encounter. So we should now talk about the video itself. The video itself is approximately 20 minutes long, and it's the most 90s thing I have ever seen in my life, and I grew up through the 90s. The video randomly cuts with footage of the pirate Sega skull and the host commenting on the video, and periodically it cuts to footage of Ecco the Dolphin dropping safety tips. But it wasn't just safety tips, there was also a mini Baywatch inspired scene, and it's something. Say hello to Binky. Out of all the names they picked, they chose Binky. Binky is a small boy who dreams of becoming a lifeguard like the ones on TV. And one day, Binky wakes up and decides that today is the day to save people. And whilst at the beach, he spots a flotation device with nobody on it, so he decides to rescue it. Yeah, I know what I've just said, just don't say anything yet, it'll become clear. So Binky dives into the water and swims out to the float, and then he starts to drown himself. Fortunately, a real lifeguard spots Binky in danger and saves him. Okay, I know what you're thinking. But Binky saw someone in danger! Yeah, only Binky also imagined himself as a real lifeguard, and then it cuts back to him in reality. So I only hope that when he saw the flotation device with nobody on it, he only imagined the drowning person. Otherwise, that lifeguard that went out to save Binky left the other guy who's now doomed. So it's at this point where David Hasselhoff points out that just because Binky could swim doesn't mean he could save someone, and the other cast of Baywatch explain why water is dangerous, and how only trained professionals should attempt to rescue people in danger. And whilst all this is going on, they constantly cut back to a real-life dolphin that they claim is Ecco the Dolphin from the video games.
All set then? Let's follow Ecco to find out how to develop our lifeguard potential.
So we then cut to Chris Evans, who randomly pops up, normally in front of an awful green screen effect, and explains some of the dangers of open water and swimming in areas which don't have lifeguards. Most of the video is quite well-meaning, if not with a bit of 90s cringe, but it does have one bit of nightmare fuel. They try to illustrate why jumping into dark, murky outdoor water is dangerous by doing this. Okay, there's a lot to digest here. Aside from the fact the kid is now jumping into the chemicals from Batman, there's a floating garden rake, a penny farthing bicycle wheel, and several oil drums. But what I like most of all is skeleton zombie fish who is about to eat the child. And skeleton zombie fish is my new favourite thing. So aside from the Binky storyline and child jumping into the vat of chemicals, there isn't anything too bad about this whole thing. The advice given in the video is actually really good. It's just hard to focus on it all due to the 90s style of filmmaking, which is constantly cutting away very quickly. It's not too cringy compared to some other PSAs and other safety videos which normally get put out there, but it's just got that 90s style to it which is a little bit cringe. So the campaign didn't just involve a video, there were also various support materials such as teachers' notes and activity sheets for other school pupils to do. Alongside this, leisure centres were also offered material to give kids swimming lessons, and as the kids got better at swimming and competed in certain challenges, they would be rewarded with Sega Rookie Lifeguard swimming badges. As usual with any promotion, some merchandise was created to help promote the event, and some of which I actually own. As you can see in the video, Sega Rookie Lifeguard t-shirts were made, and there were also some dog tags which I actually have here, as well as the swimming badges, which, again, I actually own a couple of. The video was also available to buy from the RLSS website for over 20 years after it was originally made. Sadly, it eventually got pulled from sale at some point in 2016. And finally, there's the Sega Rookie Lifeguard logbook. And this thing really hurts, because I used to actually own this until it got stolen. See, back in the 90s, I was really into swimming. I competed seriously. In fact, here are all my trophies and medals from my competitive days. And I happened to go to a few of these Sega lifeguarding events, and somehow, and I'm not too sure how I ended up with it, I got a copy of the logbook. And it was a really cool little ring binder that had a number of fact sheets inside. Nothing too epic, but I really liked it, and I didn't know anybody else that had one. Anyway, one day a new Sega Lifeguard event was held in my city, so I went to it and I took my logbook along. And the guy running it had never seen the logbook and asked if he could borrow it for the week, and he said that he would return it to me at the next session the following week. So I said, yeah, sure. Then during the next week, we got a phone call from the leisure centre saying that the rest of the sessions wouldn't go ahead due to a lack of interest, and my book was never returned. The instructor took it and never gave it back. I was sad then, and I've been trying to find another one for years, so if anyone has a Sega Lifeguard rookie logbook and wants to part with it, I will gladly give it a good home. So I'd now like to talk about the reception of this campaign, because I'm in a bit of a unique place for once on this, because my school that I went to was actually one of the schools that took part in this campaign. So what happened was, one day, our whole class was taken into a new classroom which had that TV on wheels that every school had. We got told that we'd be watching a fun video about swimming, and on came the Sega Lifeguard video. And a few kids sort of knew it from video game magazines, but this is the first time anyone in our class had actually seen the video. And after the video ended, that was pretty much it. My school didn't do any of the follow-up educational content, or even any of the Sega Rookie Lifeguard swimming lessons, until the next year, and they weren't even Sega Rookie Lifeguard swimming lessons, they were just random swimming lessons. At the time, some of the kids in my class recognised Sega and the Pirate TV adverts, and one kid said, "Oh wow, it's Ecco," because Ecco happened to be one of this kid's favourite games. But otherwise, nobody in the entire class was that into the video. It just didn't resonate with them very well. But that said, according to press releases from Sega at the time, over 25,000 schools and organisations requested the Sega Rookie Lifeguard video and information packs, and some of the venues would continue the scheme into 1994 and 1995. Despite the campaign being a transatlantic effort and Sega giving away the material for free at a cost of over £250,000 to them, which in today's money is just over £500,000 or $650,000, the campaign did actually come under fire from some parents and teachers. The BBC show The Money Programme discussed the campaign at the time, and whilst a recording of the show isn't available online, somehow someone actually uploaded a transcript of it, and they were less than enthusiastic about the whole promotion. Teacher Karen Sillett said, "What I find most distasteful about this video is that there's a strong brand image which is interspread with very valuable information that I'm trying to get over to the children. That sort of Sega skull is very easily identifiable by the children. They all know it and relate to it. and it really detracts from the type of thing I'm trying to get over to them. And the next thing we have, and here it is! Look! You can see they've established Ecco the Dolphin. And this is actually a game, a video game, that Sega are marketing at the moment. Okay, so comedy, think of the children voice aside, which really hurt my throat, yeah, she kind of has a small point. Just a small one. When you actually watch the video, it's very difficult to try and grasp exactly what's going on. But I think this is more due to the way it's edited together, rather than the actual presentation of Ecco the Dolphin. This video actually makes that game look really boring. And I can remember at the time, it really didn't encourage me to rush out and buy the game when I saw this video in my school. However, now we have John Ward, who is the director of the National Consumer Council, and oh my, this is a quote only a director of a National Consumer Council could make. Why couldn't they have actually handed the money over to a safety organisation and said, here, go, and make the film as you possibly can on this particular topic? We'd like a mention at the beginning, and we'd like a mention at the end, but as far as we're concerned, that's all we expect of it. But they didn't. They haven't exercised sufficient restraint. And they've managed to work into a very powerful message about safety. A lot of very subtle marketing. Almost subliminal advertising. It's really rather worrying. I mean, I can kind of get where he's coming from on this, but it is kind of a bit silly when you think about it. If they had just given the money to a random safety organisation and said, go make a video, you know it would have turned out like the many thousands of safety videos that people have seen before, and people would have just dismissed it the same way they usually do. And you can also bet that it probably wouldn't have gotten the support that it actually did, like the swimming lessons or the educational materials, and certainly wouldn't have appealed to kids as much as this promotion campaign actually did end up doing. And also, there now wouldn't be a 20 years look back on it from yours truly. So there, that's one benefit. Also, as I said before, this video doesn't actually make you want to buy Ecco. It actually makes the game look really boring. If anything, it puts you off buying the game. So in conclusion, what do I think of this? Well, in terms of the logistics, the campaign is pretty stunning when you think about all the different organisations involved, and the fact that they all agreed to work on it. In fact, if you look at the credits to the actual video itself, even the Water Safety Department of Hawaii was involved. But given how big the campaign actually was and the amount of money that was thrown at it, does the campaign have any form of legacy? Well, yeah, it kind of does actually. Because you see, by the end of 1993, the RLSS were successful in their campaign to change the law so that swimming and water safety got added to the UK national curriculum. And since 1993, every child in the UK who attends a public school has to take some swimming lessons which include being able to swim a certain distance and being able to keep afloat for a period of time. And in the last 20 years, accidental drowning in the UK has declined year on year over average. So we should probably give the RLSS a lot of credit for that, and Sega too for giving them the backing to help with the publicity behind their campaign in order to change the world for the better. There is, however, just one question that remains. Whatever happened to Binky? See you next time. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my video. If you found this video interesting and enjoyed it, please click that like and subscribe button. And if you know anybody else who might be interested, please share it with your fellow friends and minions. If you want to continue the adventures, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And if you'd like to support the work I do further, please consider backing me on Patreon. Or if you'd just like to make a one-off donation, why not treat me to a coffee? Links to both are in the video description. Even the smallest donation is a huge help to keeping this channel going. But most of all, just thank you for taking the time out to watch this video and enjoy the work I do. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you.